Tomb Raider is a 2018 British-American action-adventure film directed by Roy Uthog, with a screenplay by Geneva Robertson Dworet and Alastair Siddons, from a story by Evan Docherty and Robertson Dworet. An American and British co-production, it is based on the 2013 video game of the same name, with some elements of its sequel by Crystal Dynamics, and is a reboot and the third installment in the Tomb Raider film series. The film stars Alicia Vikander as Lara Croft, who embarks on a perilous journey to her father's last known destination, hoping to solve the mystery of his disappearance. Dominic West, Walton Goggins, Daniel Wu, and Kristen Scott Thomas appear in supporting roles. Principal photography lasted from January to June 2017 and took place at Warner Bros. Studios, Leavesden in Hertfordshire, England, and Cape Town, South Africa. The film was also shot on location across London, particularly East London. The first Tomb Raider film not to be distributed by Paramount Pictures. It was released in the United Kingdom on March 14, 2018, and in the United States on March 16, 2018, by Warner Bros. Pictures in Real 3D, IMAX 3D, IMAX, and 4DX. The film grossed $274 million worldwide, the same as the 2001 film of the same name and more than its 2003 sequel, although it needed to gross at least $275 million to break even. Tomb Raider received mixed reviews from critics, with some describing the plot as paint by the numbers, and others praising the action sequences, tone, grittiness, and realistic take on the franchise. Vikander's performance and the characterization of Croft drew a polarized response. Some described her as a capable, powerful, and unobjectified heroine, while others called her bland and a punching bag and onlooker. A sequel is in development. What happens in the film? Following the disappearance of her father, Lord Richard Croft, Lara Croft makes a living as a bike courier. While participating in a bet for money with Flo's couriers, she ends up arrested after a collision with a police car. Richard's business partner Anna Miller posts her bail and urges Lara to accept her inheritance. Lara believes her father still to be alive, but Miller warns Lara that if she does not claim her inheritance, the family estate, Croft Manor, will be sold off. Lara reluctantly accepts and gains access to a secret chamber in her father's tomb, where she finds a pre-recorded video message from Richard detailing his research into Himiko, the mythical queen of Yamatai who was said to command the power over life and death. Richard warns Lara to destroy his research, but she ignores his warnings and investigates further. Not yet having received her inheritance, Lara is forced upon the jade pendant her father gave her. With the money, Lara travels to Hong Kong where she hires Lu Ren, captain of the ship Endurance, to sail into the Devil's Sea in the island of Yamatai. The ship capsizes in a violent storm and Lara has washed ashore where she is knocked unconscious. She awakens only to encounter Matthias Vogel, the leader of an expedition to locate Himiko's tomb. The expedition has been funded by a shadowy organization called Trinity, which seeks to harness and weaponize Himiko's power. Vogel takes Lara prisoner, claiming that he killed her father, and revealing that he intends to use Richard's research to continue his expedition. He adds Lara and Lu Ren to his slave force. The two of them try to escape, but only Lara succeeds. After surviving rapids and narrowly avoiding falling over a waterfall with the wreck of a wartime airplane, Lara is forced to kill a Trinity guard after nightfall. She follows a mysterious figure through the jungle and discovers that the figure is her father, who stayed on the island to prevent Trinity from finding Himiko's tomb. After Lara convinces him that she is real and not a figment of his imagination, Richard treats her injuries. Despite his protests, Lara sets off the next morning to steal Vogel's satellite phone. Lara makes contact with Lu Ren, and he, along with the other slaves, stage a distraction that allows Lara to infiltrate the Trinity camp and take the phone. In the ensuing chaos, Lu Ren commandeers an assault rifle, provides cover for the escapees, and guns down several Trinity soldiers, while Richard makes his way to Himiko's tomb but is captured by Vogel, who persuades Lara to open the tomb, something she has prepared for since she was a child. At that point, the entrance to the tomb self-destructs and falls away, allowing the party to enter the tomb, which has not been seen for over 2,000 years. The party navigates a series of booby traps and locates Himiko's sarcophagus. When a Trinity soldier attempts to remove her corpse, he is infected by a highly infectious pathogen that reduces those infected to an aggressive zombie-like state. Lara realizes that Himiko was an asymptomatic carrier of the virus, who chose to entomb herself so that she could not infect others. Vogel concludes that Trinity wants to create a bio-weapon out of her body, but he cannot remove Himiko's body and instead settles for detaching a finger, which he seals in a pouch. In the confusion, Laura and Richard overpower the remaining soldiers, although Vogel escapes and Richard becomes infected. Knowing there is no cure, Richard proposes destroying Himiko's tomb to prevent the disease from spreading across the world. Laura pursues Vogel as Richard sets off a bomb, killing himself and sealing the tomb. Laura confronts and kills Vogel by infecting him with the finger. She escapes the tomb as it collapses, regrouping with Lu Ren and the slaves. They commandeer a Trinity helicopter to escape Yamatai. Laura returns to London, where she formally accepts her inheritance, and inadvertently discovers that Trinity's front company, Patna, is a subsidiary of Croft Holdings. She investigates further and suspects Anna is an agent of Trinity and manipulated her into accepting her inheritance in order to take control of Croft Holdings' business operations when Richard stopped cooperating with Trinity. Having witnessed Trinity's ruthlessness firsthand, she prepares for her next adventure. Later, Laura returns to Alan's pawn shop to buy back her pendant and also purchases two identical pistols.